Hi there, I'm João Frigerio and welcome to iWorkinSport's interview. Today we're here in Manchester at the blue side of the city, at the headquarters of the City Football Group and Manchester City Football Club, to talk with a special guest, a very good friend of mine. He is the Strategy and Development Manager at the City Football Group, Alexander Lex Staehelin.
Pleasure to be here.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming. Listen, getting sort of straight to the point, first of all, thank you for welcoming me here today and yesterday. It was brilliant. So, you're the Strategy and Development Manager at the City Football Group. What does that mean? So, what do you do?
So, I'm part of the Operations Development team of City Football Group. And in that team, we are looking at new business opportunities globally for all the clubs that are part of our group. And as in that capacity, we're looking at business cases to potentially acquire new clubs. We're looking at viability of these markets. So it's a lot of due diligence work that we're doing for our senior execs to understand whether business opportunities that are being brought forward either internally or externally are viable, and so that's really interesting stuff that we get to do. And on the other hand, we're looking at preparing commercial negotiation documents. We're looking at new business opportunities like small-sided football pitches. We have invested in a company called Goals in the US, so we're building five-a-side centers. So there's a range of things we do around the planet, all related to football.
Oh, that seems quite interesting. How did you get that job?
It's been a bit of a story. I've graduated in 2013 from the FIFA Master, and it's taken me approximately, I would say, a year until I found a job after the program. I went back into my old job. Luckily enough, I was able to do that. Actually, probably about half a year after I graduated, there was this invitation to come here to Manchester to present yourself, basically in a form of an assessment. The invitation was very loose, and I think there were about 50 people going to the assessment from all sorts of different places. We had people from Liverpool and London Business School, and I think ultimately nobody out of that group actually got a job, but I managed to hang on to one person that I met, and that person then decided that I'm the person he needs in order to help his team. And so that was really a bit of perseverance, but also luck to be in the right place at the right time. And now I've been here for 4 years.
But did you start exactly at this same job, or how was the process?
I previously
first job, and then how did you get to where you are?
Yeah, so I joined Manchester City directly. I joined the club in a commercial manager role in the infrastructure team. So we would look at opportunities to redevelop suites or stadiums, rebuild stadiums or training grounds. And in that team, I would look at the commercials before we actually go and propose redevelopments or actually put concepts in front of architects. We would look at the commercials and how we can make something like that stack up. So I would take care of a lot of that work. And then after about a year and a half too, I was relocated into a different team. Into the operations development team that is more dedicated globally on projects like that. So
according to what you said, your job is very diverse. So what is it that you most like about it?
I think the fact that it is diverse is the one thing that I like most about it. I think in our team there are no roles that are specifically doing the same thing every week or every month. We are working on different projects all the time. There's a lot of stuff that, due to the size of our organization and also our connections to different industries in the various continents where we're active, lots of business opportunities are coming to us, and there is always different stuff to work through. The scenarios are never the same, so you're always on the ball a little bit. You're always learning new things, and I think also the fact that you're working for a football organization, but we're doing more than just play football, and you can be involved in that in the development of an entity that goes beyond the football organization. That's quite interesting.
Cool. So a question that people at home might have, especially those that really want to work in football, normally they want to work for their club. So do you have to be a supporter of the club to work here?
No, you don't have to be a supporter. I think throughout the organization we actually have quite a few people like myself who as their first club support someone else.
Don't tell me you support United.
I do not, but I can guarantee you there are some people who do, and vice versa, by the way. So I know people at United who support City. I think there is no correlation between how well you do your job and how much you love your employer in the sports sphere. That might be different in other industries, but in sports, I think because it's such an emotional component, working for the club you like, it actually might not necessarily be the best thing. For me, it's not a problem, and I think it only helps you to be more distanced in how you make your decisions.
Last question, Lex. There's some people that will watch this video that would pretty much, like to work for their football club or for even Man City or the City Football Group. What advice would you give them?
I think there are two things. One is, what advice would I give to anyone who wants to work in sports is a general thing. I think you have to find a job that gives you an opportunity to grow, and first and foremost, that's the important facet of picking a job in sports.
Before that, is there an advice of how to find that job?
I don't think there is a recipe, a golden rule as how you're going to find that job. I think it's listening a lot, meeting people, and understanding what's happening. By meeting people, they're not gonna tell you which jobs are becoming available, but what they might be telling you is the organization is going through a change. You can probably learn yourself and understand yourself in which organizations what kind of changes might be opening up some opportunities, and maybe there are shifts that cause people to move from one organization to another, and you might be able to just understand a little bit the dynamics of the market and where you need to go and talk to people in order to be the first in line when something opens up. That's the networking part.
And the second thing that you're going to say?
And the second thing I was going to say is I think in sports it's important that we all understand that this is an industry where you usually pick the employer not based on where the employer is located and how good the weather is in that city where you live. I think it's important for us to be, for the people in sport, to be flexible enough to move to a city that they initially maybe didn't consider to move to, but because the employer lives there, they don't have a choice potentially. And I think in sports you have to be open enough to go to an employer that lives or works somewhere where you don't necessarily consider to move to in the first instance, but the opportunity that they give you might be a really good one. And I think this certainly has been the case for me. I think Manchester is not a place where this wouldn't be on the top 5 list of everyone's preferred destinations if they were able to choose where they want to go and live. But it's been a great opportunity for me, and I think that's what I make my decision on in the beginning and before I moved here. So that's really another important thing. It's really important for you to know what kind of aspects that your job skills or profile has that you can contribute to us as an organization. We're becoming increasingly professionalized. Increasingly we find that job descriptions are now more detailed, more specific. So no longer is the all-rounder talent necessarily someone who can apply to all the jobs. So be specific in what you're looking for, and apply for the things that are relevant to your position. I think very quickly you'll find that if you just apply because you think there is an opportunity, but you don't really know what it is that makes you the candidate that should apply for that job, very quickly you'll find that you're not going to get a response.
Cool. Cool. Great to wrap up with some nice words of wisdom by Lex Staehelin. Thank you so much, man. Thanks again for the invite.
I hope it was good for you. 6 goals last night.
Yeah, that was brilliant. Having a Brazilian scoring a hat trick, that was awesome. Thanks
and you
again.
told him to do that before the game.
Thanks.
I witnessed that.
You did indeed. That's very important. But I hope that everybody there enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give that like, subscribe to the channel, tell your friends. Let me know what you think of the things that he said. I thought it was smart. Let me know what you think, and yeah, subscribe, because then we'll be posting more interviews like that in the future. Thank you.